All right. From sophisticated cigarette holders to exploding umbrellas, we are going to talk everything the Penguin today on Two Geeks and a Microphone. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. So he talks first.
All right. I'll talk first again. I'll explain that in a minute. So I am Mike of Two Geeks and a Microphone. Unfortunately, Steven is not here today. And oh shoot, now we're not live on Rumble, but I'll figure that one out later. Anyway, Steven is not with us today. Steven had a last minute thing come up, so unfortunately he couldn't join us today. But with me, I have my daughter, Megan, and we have our returning guest, Jacob. I'm going to say your name right now since we had the pre-show discussion that we thought we were live. Jacob Ruxer, comic creator Jacob Ruxer. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today, Jacob.
Yeah, it's actually pronounced McLaughlin. No.
Nice. So yeah, we just had a 10-minute discussion on names and pronouncing names, and yeah, it was great. Too bad you guys missed it. I don't know if we're going to go back over all that, but
No, it's
yeah, it was a fun discussion. Maybe we'll talk about it again sometime. But Jacob is returning with us, and Jacob has his own comic book. And let's see if I can get that name right. It is hold on. I'm looking for it. Not Nostra Costa.
Cosa
Nostra.
Cosa Nostra's Comrade.
Cosa Nostra. Okay, Cosa Nostra Comrade. Yeah, that's a tongue twister.
Well, yeah, it is because the first two words are Italian or Sicilian, and then it's got an apostrophe S on the end, which technically doesn't make any sense. It makes sense in the terms of what we're trying to convey in terms of the title. So,
Gotcha.
But yeah, so the mafia is the Cosa Nostra, well, the Italian-American mafia anyway.
Yeah, so I thought having you on to discuss the Penguin might be fun because I want to see if there's any parallels between the Penguin series and your comic book. I thought you might have some good insight on that, so we'll get into that a little bit as we get into the main event. And is there anything that you want to promote coming up, or anything? I don't know if you've got any Kickstarters getting ready to go or anything like that. Just share with us whatever you got.
Sure, yeah. So, Free Comic Book Day, May 3rd. I had my first ever comic book signing at a local comic book store in Kenmore, New York, on Delaware Avenue. It's called Kingpin Comics and Gaming. I'll be in there selling and signing my books. I have 11 by 17 inch art prints in plastic sleeves that I'll be selling of the covers, and then some novelty items that you could only get if you were a backer from the Kickstarter that I'll be selling as well. And I'll be giving away a 9.6 CGC graded Amazing Spider-Man newsstand copy. I forgot which issue it is, but I'll be giving that away, and I have some comic book related sealed packs of cards I'll be randomly giving away, and doing my first ever comic book signing. And then at the end of this month, Joffrey Cotton, who is the co-writer on my book,
we've had Joffrey on too, and we're working on getting Joffrey back on. We just haven't figured out what subject to have him on for.
Yeah, I know. He showed me a list, and it said such and such a date, and it said Two Geeks, and I was like, oh, cool. And So I'll be doing that on the free comic book day, and then at the end of April, he should have on his website kingdomcomics.com. That's KEYNGDOM comics.com. You should then be able to purchase my comic Cosa Nostra's Comrade directly off of his website. So that way people don't have to reach out to me and give a stranger their PayPal money and hope that I send them a comic book. So that way it's more legitimate. So I'm very excited about that.
Wow, you say that, and that reminds me of the old days of CD trading. Did you ever do that?
I knew that people did it. I never did it myself. When I had it, let me tell you, Mike. When I had a CD, it was my CD. Like,
well, this was quote unquote bootleg CDs. Yeah. Usually you get bootleg copies of different live performances and stuff. I'm not saying bootlegging of their actual albums, but bootlegs of live concerts. I wouldn't advocate just recording an album and giving that away. But anyway, this was live concerts, and it was a great way for fans to exchange different recordings that were hard to get and stuff. And I contributed in a lot of that for a long time, where we'd trade off CDs of different concerts, and there was always that. Are they really going to send me what they claim they're going to send me? There was always that slight fear there, because you don't know what you're going to get. Luckily, you're just trading a recorded CD, so you're not really losing money per se. But it was an interesting time. I would make up my own CD covers for it and everything. I'd go all out for that stuff, man. It was fun. Different time though. Go ahead.
Did you actually make your own art for these CDs?
Well, I clipped and paste and stuff like that. Pre Photoshop too, so wasn't the best work, but I did what I could.
I had a couple art teachers that, I'm not an art expert by any means. They would argue that that's still art. I remember one of our assignments was we had to make ironically, a CD cover of an already existing album by any artist we wanted. And we had to use pictures off the internet and special fonts and writing to make it our own. So I actually have it right under me, ironically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It would take some digging to get to. I'm not going to grab it, but yeah, no, that was cool. So yeah, I mean, I would say that that's still art. Mike, you disappeared.
Maybe I went away.
It's being weird today.
I don't know who went away. I don't know if it was us or Jacob. Hey, there, we're back.
Earlier, he disappeared for me, but I disappeared on Twitch.
I don't know. We're having some weird Wi-Fi glitches, so I don't know. We switched Wi-Fi not long ago. We switched to AT&T's Air. I'm not sure I'm liking it. It's had some issues, so I kind of feel that's probably what just happened. But anyway,
has the PC been drinking again? I don't know. The dumb joke.
As long as it stays away from my tequila, I'm fine with that. But anyway, if you want to see my artwork, just look at our thumbnails, because I do every one of our thumbnails for every one of our shows. Just because I got more time than Steven. And yeah. I tend to be the little bit more artistic eye out of the two of us. He's very schedule driven, and he's kind of the we gotta keep things moving, that kind of thing, and very analytic, and I'm a little bit more of the artsy person out of the two of us. So it's that's what makes the show fun, I guess.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. That's actually, I'm glad you said that. I didn't know who made the thumbnails for it, because when you initially posted it and sent it to me, I was like, you had Colin Farrell in the background. It said the Penguin, and then it said, I think it said from Cobblepot to Comrade, and then,
yep,
and then you and Steven and me in the middle. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, I wonder who made that. I'm like, that's actually kind of, I hope. Can I go PG-13 for a second here?
Sure, go ahead.
I was like, that's pretty badass. Like,
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my creation. I do every one of those, and I work hard on them actually. But we got a great tool. We use Canva to make that, and man, I'm using Canva constantly. In fact,
Do you have to subscribe to that, or is that like something you can just
yeah,
download?
you have to subscribe to it. Steven's kind of got a business subscription to it, so both of us are included on it and everything. And yeah, I use it for everything I do, everything we do on the show. So,
Have you heard of Filmora? I know you can download that right onto your cell phone.
no,
Some people,
Filmora.
I haven't dabbled in it yet. Like technological stuff in terms of creating images and stuff and designs has not really ever been my thing, but it's something that the next go around for the second issue of my comic with making some stuff that I'm going to kind of dabble into. So I was asking because I'm going to try to, get some ideas to utilize to try to create some things in the future.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll look into it and see what it has to offer and stuff. We're always looking for, better deals and everything. Well, Steven's the one who's always looking for a better deal. Like our streaming service, we use EV Mux now, and we've been using it for about a year, I think. But we tried a couple others before then, which we liked, but then they jacked up the prices on us. And Steven's like, nope, we got to switch because that's too expensive. And he found EV Mux, and so far we're pretty happy with it. It's about half the price of the last one we were using. So, like I said, Steven's always looking for a deal. But as far as Canva goes, Canva is something we have used since day one. Canva, Podbean, that's who we release our audio podcast from. We love Podbean. Podbean's amazing. If you're doing an audio podcast, I highly recommend checking out Podbean. They will help you get everything set up. They will help you get your podcast on all of the big platforms, no matter what. Apple, Google, Stitcher, all of them, all the big platforms. It's great. Fantastic. I couldn't push that service more. So if you're looking for something like that, go for that. But those are the two that we've stayed with since day one. We've been using those since day one. So, couple staples. All right. Well, let's move on to our Geekdar, and see what we all have for geeky show and tell.
Go with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. It's not all he's lost.
One of my favorite scenes to this day. All right. I got a few things for Geekdar, but since we have a guest, I'm going to let Jacob go first if he'd like.
Sure. Let's see. So, as I told you earlier, I got a stack this thick of comics that I just have not been getting to. Some of them are series that I've been that are ongoing that I just haven't got up on the issues, and then some of it is new stuff that I haven't read yet. I got.
I know how that is. I get comics almost every week, and yeah, they get stacked up too.
Oh man, I got one here. So I bought this. It's a hardcover. It's based on the video game Max Payne. They only did a So if anybody's ever played the PS2 game Max Payne, the original, the way they do the cut scenes, the cut scenes are like comic book strips, and then they have the actors talking, which I thought was cool. And I always thought to myself, I don't know why they didn't make a comic book for this. And then I got the idea to Google it a few months ago, and it's like, oh, for the third one, they actually released 3 separate issues. So there is a comic book for it.
Nice.
I thought that was absolutely awesome. So I just, being a fan of that game and then finding that, I'm like, that's something I got to buy. Then there was a video game. I didn't play the original. It was called Dead Space, but they, for whatever reason, Image decided to make I believe Image made the comic off of the game. Anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. But it became very popular. I have issue number 1 and issue number 2. They're expensive. And then the hardcover of all, I believe it's like 16 issues. I have the hardcover. it's $100 just for the hardcover, if that tells you anything. So like it's not it's popular. So I still haven't read that yet. And then
Oh my gosh, I got so many that I haven't read yet.
it stacks up. And then I'm reading The Deviant by Tinian. It's about a serial killer that's in prison, and he's being interviewed by this kid who's interviewing serial killers. So you got to kind of who was the one who but then the murders that he was committing 50 years back all of a sudden start happening, but he's in jail and he's always claimed to be innocent. So they're wondering what's going on there. And then
almost kind of sounds like Silence of the Lambs type of situation.
Yeah. No, it just made me think of one that I can't remember, where the murders start again and he's not in jail. I can't remember though. This one's from Vault. They're a lesser known. I haven't started reading this yet. I got 2 issues. Something That Crawled Out, kind of not my thing. I think it's more horror. So I wanted to give that a shot. And then I bought Blood Rain because Blood Rain's based on a video game. I actually have a comic, and I put a special setting on eBay to alert me. There was a comic cover that was very hard to find that was like an exclusive, and you can't find it. There's nothing on coverprice.com that says anything about pricing. There's no sold listings for it on eBay. All of a sudden, someone just listed it. He listed it for $100, and I was like, bought. Bought that. Then I'm reading I still got to read this, and shame on me for not reading it. This is a holofoil copy. It's an homage cover to a hip-hop cover by Nas, the rapper. This is a comic book called Tough Stuff by an independent comic book creator who's locally around me from Buffalo, called Kevin Delgado. He does all his own art. He writes all his own stories. But then he also does comic book commissions, and he does exclusive covers for like Image, Mad Cave, Dynamite. Oh, wow. Yeah, so he's very known. And then I also buy some since we're I would say and correct me if I'm wrong, I would say video games are in the sanctum of the geek area.
Yes.
So, I buy and collect video games. I bought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for PS5, the 50th anniversary collector's edition, just to have and put in the box and maybe send to CGC at some point to get graded, because I just thought, and then I'll buy games like that here and there. And since we're on the topic of my friend Kevin, I don't know if we touched on this. I love the, even though it's a horrible movie, I love the original Spawn movie because of John Leguizamo and his portrayal of the Violator clown. I feel like he carried that entire movie, and whoever plays that character, say what you want about the movie, you can't dispute John's performance as the Violator.
I totally agree with you. Oh my gosh.
He made that movie. He carried that movie without fail, if you ask me. And I just love his character so much. Whoever plays the Violator clown in the new Spawn movie, you have some incredibly large fills to show, or large shoes to fill. But I had Kevin do this. He did John.
Oh wow!
His, I don't know how well you could see it. His Violator clown morphing into
the Violator.
Yeah, into the Violator. So yeah, nice. No, I Kevin's great. Love the Violator. So that's not new. That's actually like a year old. But since we're on the topic, it was really
that's cool. That's really cool. I was a huge Spawn fan when it first started. I had like the first 2 or 3 years of the Spawn comic books when they were first originally released and stuff. So, and I was a big fan of the Violator. I was excited about that film when it came out, and I agree with you. He is probably the best thing in that movie. He definitely makes it, and you're absolutely right. When they do the updated film, they've got whoever plays that character is going to have some big shoes to fill. Let's hope that it's like a Joker situation. So where we go from like Jack Nicholson, who I think is one of the greatest live action Jokers into Heath Ledger, who just put on this amazing performance that nobody expected. And I'm hoping we have a situation like that where you go just from one great to a different great, and maybe he'll bring something new to the table like Heath did. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, and I like that you brought that up, because like with Jack Nicholson, people say, "Oh, Jack Nicholson wasn't that good." It's like, you got to remember the type of Joker that he portrayed. He was a gangster. Not only was he a gangster, he was a sociopath, and then Heath Ledger was just a straight up psychopath.
Yeah,
like loony bin. Like
he's an anarchist.
Yeah, but he was, but he was also very in his anarchy, if you will. He was very precise and calculating. But and no one can dispute that. I feel like that was one of the best acting performances in general ever, if you ask me. And the interesting thing is,
I like Joker.
Oh yeah, no, Joker's freaking fantastic. And the other. Oh yeah, I see.
That's the Batman Begins. It's not the Dark Knight, but I do love the Chris Nolan series.
Oh yeah, he shoot, what was I going to say? I mean, just overall great performance. That's it. Some people kind of laughed at this, but Jack Nicholson, he's like De Niro. They're method actors. They get into their character, which is exactly what Heath Ledger did. There's a story that Jack Nicholson actually pulled Heath Ledger aside, and he warned him, and he said, "Listen, he said something like, listen, this character is going to consume you. Be careful." And then we all know the end result of, because Heath went all in. He isolated himself. He really went into trying to become like this isolated, crazy human being. And I don't know if you know this, but the scene in The Dark Knight when Heath Ledger walks into Bruce Wayne's party in the Wayne building.
Okay.
Michael Caine is standing in front of the elevator door when it opens before Heath Ledger walks in. And when when it opens and Heath Ledger walks in, Michael Caine, Alfred, doesn't say anything. He just kind of has a look on his face, and he turns and moves to the side. That was not supposed to happen. I don't know what he was supposed to say. I was watching something on this recently. He actually had a line that he was supposed to say, but he was so freaked out by Heath Ledger. He had not seen Heath Ledger in character yet to that point, and he was just so like enthralled in the moment that he just kind of had a stunned look on his face and turned and just let him pass. He didn't even say his line. He just let him go. Like, do your thing, buddy. Like, you're crazy. Let's do it.
Oh, and then he ate up the scenery. He was just incredible.
And
he's such an amazing Joker.
I want to know if it was his idea. I always, because like when I would imitate him, I can't do the best impression, but I always loved imitating Heath Ledger. He would always do the.
Oh yeah, that little, I don't even know what you call that.
Like I guess like a
lip smacking,
twitch,
lip smack, something like that.
And I used to, and I'm sure we've all done it. Like that. Why I use a knife instead of a gun, or because you can't savor all the little emotions. I think we've all done some imitation of him. So and then with Jack Nicholson, I think he was great. I can't impersonate Jack Nicholson. I think there's people who can't, like Kevin Spacey, even though he's, the way he is. He does a phenomenal Jack Nicholson impersonation.
I don't think I've ever heard Spacey's his impersonation.
He throws on a pair of sunglasses and then gets all
nice.
And then he really just, he was like, another day, another $50,000. I can't do Jack Nicholson. I mean, if you YouTube it, like Kevin Spacey impersonations, he does a great Johnny Carson. He does like, he does a good Al Pacino. Like he just goes down the line. So, but yeah. So anyway, Jack Nicholson. Whoever says Jack Nicholson was a crappy Joker, it's because you weren't born in that time, or you just don't have true respect for cinema. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, Jack's like one of my all-time favorite actors, so it's only natural that I love his version of the Joker. I thought he did a phenomenal job. I mean, 1989, I went and seen that. That was probably the first movie I ever went and seen multiple times in the theater. It's just something we didn't do back then. We didn't really have the money. It was expensive, but Batman, yeah, I went and seen it, I don't know, probably 12 times in the theater just because I loved it so much. Still one of my favorites today. I don't know what's going on with Megan. I was going to let Megan share something if she had, but what?
It's being stupid.
It's not letting you in?
Well,
do I need to send you another invite? Oh, there we go.
No, I was trying to get it to load because Jacob wasn't loading on my screen.
Well, he was frozen for me for a little bit.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Megan, front and center.
I still can't hear him.
You can't hear Jacob?
I can't hear or see him.
Oh, that's weird. Well, I hear and see him, so hopefully everything's picking up for the audio side of it.
Yes,
Jacob does have a little thing that shows that your internet might be a little spotty or something. I don't know.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. My internet is usually.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's us too. I don't know. Who knows? All right, Megan, do you have a Geekdar? I think you did.
I'm sorry. You guys are coming in like perfect, so I don't know what's going on.
What was that, Megan?
I can talk about my UT's figures.
Okay. Well, whatever you want to talk about.
So me with my husband hotel. I have 3 figures. They finally put out. They finally have UT's figures.
Hold it up.
But
hold it up. There we go.
So I got Charlie. She's got a little.
Is that a licensed product or is that something that somebody custom made?
No, it's licensed. It's U2's.
Okay.
So there's all the.
Okay, cool.
Now what is?
Oh, she disappeared.
That's pretty cool. What is the figure exactly?
I have 3 figures that I wanted to show off, but I have Charlie.
Megan, Jacob's asking what the figure is because he has no idea what that is.
So, it's Charlie Morningstar, the daughter of Lucifer, from Husband Hotel, the show that I'm absolutely obsessed with.
Yeah, she's just got 4 tattoos of it.
Uh-huh.
Is it Tim Burton related at all? It totally looks like something Tim Burton.
Jacob asked if it's Tim Burton related, Megan.
No, it's I don't know if Vizzy Pop has any inspiration, but the creator is Vizzy Pop. It's hard. Her name is Vivian. But she started with she animated her own pilot episode on YouTube like 5-6 years ago, something like 2019. And from there sorry, my brain just.
It's okay.
The pilot hit off really well, and then it went nowhere for 5 years. And then all of a sudden, we finally got news that A24 picked it up, and so it's on Amazon or Amazon Prime. And
apparently it's really popular because everywhere you go, somebody sees your tattoos. They always stop and ask you about
my tattoos, my shirts, my hoodies.
Megan, can you hear me now?
But so
apparently not, Jacob.
I tried to do something and it didn't work.
You know what, Jacob? Maybe try going out of the room and coming back in. See if that'll fix the connection.
How do I do that? I don't.
Okay, so there's an arrow up at the top to the left,
or you can just refresh your.
Or try a refresh. That might help too.
Just refresh the browser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, now he went away. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Go ahead, Megan. Well, there's Jacob.
Calling all
Now-
cars. Calling all cars. We have a 1051 in progress. Okay, you guys can both hear me. Cool.
Very good. Okay, Megan, finish.
All right. The next one, I have Angel Dust, who is one of my absolute favorites.
Angel Dust. Oh my gosh.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a
His name,
sounds like a wrestler. What was that one? Not Dusty Rhodes. There was the one that was covered in gold. Wasn't it Gold Dust? I don't know.
I
just
think
thought-
so.
I'm
My
sorry.
wife would be the better one to ask that question to.
I'm sorry, Megan. Completely off topic, but it made me think of that.
I don't know anything about wrestling, so, but yes, his name is a drug, but it fits. It fits his character. Listen, I love this show, but and he has his little pig whose name is Fat Nuggets.
Fat Nuggets?
Uh-huh.
Gosh.
Oh my god! I don't know what to make of that, but I like it.
And then
You know, it figures you'd like a character named Angel Dust, considering you've been a fan of Master of Puppets all your life,
this is true.
and you had no idea what Master of Puppets meant for the longest time.
This is true.
Like Fat Nuggets. Is that what you call? Is that? I feel like that's like a slur for piglets now. It's like those darn fat nuggets.
No,
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know why his name is Fat Nuggets, but his name is Fat Nuggets. That's what it is.
We've had beaver nuggets from Bucky's.
Which we also call crack.
Yeah, which oh, crap. another drug reference.
And then Alistair. It's
Cool.
hard to see him on my camera, but
Yeah, you don't. I can't reach my light. Otherwise, I'd flip the light for you. See if that works.
it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't work at all.
Yeah, it made it darker.
It made it darker. That's hilarious.
And-
Oh well.
But Alistair, who is the radio demon, and he has his little shadow gremlins.
Radio demon. Nice.
Yes, he is the radio demon.
Very
and
cool.
I love him. And he's also on my shirt.
Gotcha. Is he one of your tattoos?
Yes,
Ah.
I have his radio.
Oh, okay. That's the radio.
Yeah.
All right.
It's hard. It's
I
really
get
hard
it.
to see, but that's my tattoo for Alistair. I have Angel with the spider web. Another character, Husk, who I don't have any figures for yet because they haven't shipped. And then I have Lucifer at the bottom.
Oh gosh. Anyway,
Listen, Megan, I have the eyesight of a 90-year-old with glaucoma. Are those action figures? Are those action figures or comic books on your wall?
Oh.
Those are
action figures. Those are
Are they?
actually mine.
those are Dad's.
Oh,
Yeah, it's hard to see from there.
We're in the same room.
Those are
Oh,
these. Yeah, we're in the same room actually.
You can kind of see him.
Here I'll wave.
oh.
Yeah, those are my Star Wars action figures. They are the retro. So they're like the reissues of the original Star Wars figures from the 70s and 80s. I've been collecting them, and yeah, I put them up on my wall and stuff. So yeah, those are mine, not hers. Although she's got a wall of pops in her room.
Oh, all right. Yeah, a friend of mine has. Oh God, he's got thousands of pops. Like drug addict. Like since we're on the topic, like drug addiction pops everywhere.
But see, Steven's not here, and we just completely go off the rails.
Well, I feel like that makes things more interesting. You know what I mean. I mean, it's good to stay on point, but you got to have your little sidebars. You know what I mean.
All right, Megan, is that the end of your?
Yeah, that's all the
All right.
duties that I have to show off right now.
All right, I'll quickly share mine. Let's see if I can share my screen here. Here we go. Nope, it doesn't want to share it. Okay, fine, be that way. Oh, there we go. There we go. So I'm going to pop it in front of us for just a minute. So I've been pushing this for the last couple of weeks, but and it's something that we premiered or we talked about on the show a few weeks ago. It's a audio drama of Batman called DC High Volume, and they are doing year one of Batman right now. This past Tuesday, I got episode 3 of it, and I got to say, I love these audio dramas. They are just fantastic, just beautifully done. Can't believe how well this is done. And it's all free. It's a free podcast. Anybody can pick it up. So I would highly recommend it if you're a Batman fan. That kind of goes with the Penguin theme and everything.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I had been meaning to ask you a question because I know you love Batman. I watched it as a kid, and I still will watch it every now and then to this day because for some reason, for nostalgia purposes, I just still find it to be entertaining. I don't know if you're into like cartoon stuff at all.
Oh yeah.
I still will watch from like 1992, 1993.
The Batman animated series.
Yes, I don't know what it is. I just call me crazy, call me a geek, call me young, immature. I don't care. I think it's great.
Batman animated series is one of my favorite animations. I absolutely love and adore the Batman animated series. Gosh, I cannot think of his name. The one who plays Batman.
Kevin Conroy?
Yes, thank you. Kevin Conroy, who passed away. R.I.P. to Kevin, who passed away a couple years ago. We did a whole special on him and everything. But when I read Batman, I hear Kevin's voice in my head. To me, he is the quintessential Batman. And Mark Hamill's Joker he goes right up there with Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger. In fact, might come in slightly higher than the two. Just phenomenal voice presentations by both of those actors. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, when I found out Mark Hamill was the voice, I was like, I found this out recently.
Oh wow.
I'm like, Mark, I was like, that's Mark Hamill. I was like, you would never know.
I didn't know. So I've been watching it since it premiered back in the early 90s before Megan was born. And I didn't know until Batman Mask of the Phantasm came out it was a couple years after Batman had premiered. I think it was a couple years. And when the Batman Mask of the Phantasm came out, and I got it on VHS back then.
93.
And I was 93, okay. And I was watching the extras on the VHS, and they talked about Mark Hamill playing the voice of the Joker. It blew my mind. I was like, what? Luke Skywalker's the Joker? Oh my gosh. I could not believe it. I was just floored by that information. But yeah, I think he's an incredible Joker, and Kevin Conroy is the quintessential Batman by far.
And Terry McGinnis is Eric Matthews.
Yes. Yep. Terry McGinnis is great in Batman Beyond. And Kevin Conroy plays the older Batman. I still want a live action version of that. Oh, man. Yeah. Come on, DC. You guys are just, I have a love-hate relationship with DC Comics. But anyway, Batman High Volume is highly worth the download. It's free to listen to. 3 episodes in, it's portraying Batman Year One very well. From what I remember, it's been a while since I watched Year One. But so far they're portraying it really well. If you're a Batman fan, I highly suggest you check this out. And then the other thing I had for my Geekdar was I finished House of David. So I got to see this season finale of House of David, and I thought it was really good. Excellent scene with David and the giant. That giant just blows my mind away. And I'm hoping I can get Steven to watch the whole series, and I want to do an episode on House of David. So I'll keep everyone posted on what's coming with that. So hopefully we can get Steven to do it. But anyway, with Steven, it's just a matter of time.
I want to get you guys to do a show on like The Godfather or Goodfellas or Casino or The Departed or Donnie Brasco or.
If we do any of those, we'll definitely have you back on for those.
I mean, there's other stuff that I would totally be down for, but I'm like, that's
Sure.
kind of like my, well, I shouldn't say totally my thing, but in terms of like the comic books and all that, like just growing up, I was just, I'm not going to rehash our original podcast between you and I, but the gangster stuff is definitely, it's something that's been with me since I was a little kid. So, I just love it.
Hey, that's a great segue into our main event. So let's. Steven normally does this stuff, so I got to find everything. All right, let's head into the main event.
It's time for the main event.
All right. Oh, I chose the wrong scene. I knew this was going to happen. There, I chose the wrong scene. I blame Steven. He's not here, so I can blame him for anything I want. Oh my gosh. I guess I can't blame him for network connections. Anyway, all right. So moving on to our main event, we are talking about The Penguin today. The Penguin is a television series that's debuted on Max. I almost said Cinemax, but Max.
No, I still say Cinemax.
It kind of is, right? So the overall premise is following the power vacuum left by Carmine Falcone's death in the Batman movie. The Penguin focuses on Oswald, or as they refer to him mostly in the series, Oz, Cobblepot's ambition and brutal climb to power within Gotham's criminal underworld. He navigates treacherous alliances, rival gangs, and the lingering shadow of the Falcone family to establish his own dominance. I liked the movie, The Batman. It is not my favorite Batman movie, though. I thought it was well done, but I wasn't a big fan of the Riddler in it. I don't like the way they portrayed him at all. But the shining light of the Batman movie was easily the Penguin. I mean, man, that guy was so good. He was just incredible. And the fact that we had Colin Farrell, who does not look anything in real life like what he looks like on screen. I mean, they totally transformed him into this whole different person. And it's phenomenal the way he pulled it off. So when they announced that they were doing a Penguin television series, at first I was like, just hearing about it, I was like, yeah, I don't know. The Batman movie I didn't care for. I mean, I liked it, but it just wasn't great in my opinion. And then I started seeing promos for it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks incredible. So you probably took the best actor from that movie, threw him in his own TV series. And I don't think they could have done a better job, honestly. This was an incredible TV series. I loved the dynamic. I loved him. The character development was great between him and I'm trying to think. What was that? Oh yeah, Victor was amazing. Love Victor too. But the female, I'm trying to think of her name.
Oh, Sophia?
Yes, Sophia Falcone. She was awesome. I loved her. And then we had the Maroni family and the Falcone family, who are straight from the Batman comic books, from Batman lore. I love that they brought in both families, and we had the war between the two of them, and then kind of this allegiance between the two of them, which I thought was kind of cool. Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That kind of thing. We had that dilemma, that thing going. And yeah, I thought this was an incredible TV series. What are your overall thoughts, Jacob?
Well, one thing I wanted to mention is that I always forget his name, the actor who played Maroni, but as soon as I saw him, I was like, okay, at some point,
I got it here somewhere. Go on.
At some point, Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery are going to pop out and go, "There can be only one," because he's from Highlander.
Oh yeah.
I know. I always forget his name. He's a great actor.
I'm trying to find it here.
So overall, just because the series Penguin comes from the new movie The Batman. Like you were saying, in terms of a Batman movie, I wouldn't say. What's that?
Sorry, Clancy Brown is who plays Maroni.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? That's his name, Clancy Brown? I know. Wow. Okay. Wow. My memory is fantastic. He's great. I would say the Batman movie, like, I could see what you're saying, how it's not like the best Batman movie. I thought it was different. I feel like they took more of the detective approach with this one.
Yes.
I liked how his gadgets and stuff was, they were sophisticated, but they weren't like over the top. I like how he was more, brute force and like his own physical strength over, using anything to be able to aid him in his moments where he had to go into combat. And I thought it was a nice. It was in terms of it was different. I liked that it was different.
Agreed.
I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with the sequel. I heard that they're going to make at least 2 sequels. I don't know if that's confirmed. Very curious to see. I'm not like deep into Batman like you are. I thought how they did with the Riddler. I thought that was cool. It was different. I just thought it was more modern in terms of like, the movie felt very real world to me. The Batman did. And, with the Riddler, he just, he was just a crazy guy wearing green and a mask that, did riddles and, ended up in Arkham Asylum. Like I thought it was great. But then in that moment where, Batman goes to that club and he's like, "I'm here to save the Penguin." And he goes and he's fighting everybody. And then all of a sudden, Colin Farrell, who you have no idea is Colin Farrell, comes out of nowhere and is, "Oh, how you doing? I'm Oz." He
is the quintessential gangster or mobster, I should say.
Oh yeah, like as soon as he came, like but what I liked about it too is you could see in his face with what they did to the prosthetics, like even though he's not like this creature or anything, when you look at him, when you look at his face, his scars, the shape of his nose, the way his eyebrows are for him, his weight, and then because he has the clubbed foot, and then the way he walks, it's like, holy crap, that is the Penguin. It's like Danny DeVito done stepped his game up, like, and I love Danny DeVito as the Penguin too, by the way, but they made it more modern and real, and I love that. And Colin Farrell, like when I found out that was Colin Farrell, I'm like, I'm like, didn't he get nominated for some sort of award? If not, I
think he did.
Good, because he freaking deserves it. Like he took that character and just made it his own, flipped it on its head, and
they should have gotten, I don't know I don't watch the awards, but they should have gotten best makeup, because that was just incredible to transform him into that. Because like you said, I had no idea that was Colin Farrell. I'm like, that don't look anything like Colin Farrell. Most people didn't even believe it. It was such a transformation. And then he definitely should have got best, supporting actor. Because, oh my gosh. And then hopefully he wins something for the Penguin series, because he's just as incredible in the Penguin series as he is in the movie.
Do you know, do they do, like, how they do like best original movie? Do they do like best original TV show? Is that like an award? Is that a thing? Do you know? Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. I blinked out. I haven't watched the awards ceremonies in years, because I think they're just crap nowadays.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't really care about them, but yeah, I think he should be winning all the awards for this series. It's just incredible.
And then, so going off of the Batman movie, and then him actually going into, all of a sudden hearing about the Penguin. Like when I first, like you said, when I first saw that, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I was like, without even watching any of the trailers or anything, I was immediately excited because I was like, he's not a creature. He's a real guy. He works for a mafia family. This is going to be some, can I go PG-13 again?
Yeah, sure.
This is going to be some gangster shit. And I was like, this is going to be fantastic. I said, the only thing I was worried about though, and I know we'll get to this at some point because, we watched the entire first season, but I'm like, the only thing that might kind of ruin this a little bit, because, they chose to go, like the gangster route with it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if they bring Bruce Wayne and Batman into this, it might ruin the show. I feel like it might ruin the show because
that's a good thing to bring up, and I think we'll have to circle back to that too. Yeah. So, what Steven and I normally do, we give our little overall spoiler free, like we just did, and then we give it a rating. We pick something relevant from the series or movie that we're watching to use as our scale. So, what do you think we should use as a scale for this?
In terms of,
1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Just pick, like penguins or, what, something relevant to the show. You would give it how many penguins or whatever.
So penguins, we'll use penguins instead of stars, 0 to 10. I would give it a 10, and I give it a 10 because it's basically, if you think about it, it's a original story that's based off an original story. You know what I mean? Which is great, so, or, if you want to call it a spin-off or whatever, as they do with but it was a spin-off in the sense that the TV show came from the movie. Usually a TV show spin-off comes from another TV show, but they went and made a TV show from the movie. So they took a character that's a villain that's been known for decades for Batman, and then they made an original TV series about that. Because of that, because he's not like a creature or anything, and he's a real human, and the originality of it and the performance Colin Farrell did, you don't even know it's Colin Farrell. It's kind of like with Heath Ledger as the Joker. I'm like, it's 10 frickin' penguins. You cannot give it 10. You cannot give it 10. You can't. I just feel like you can't. I'm sure there's people who don't like it or hate it or have it. That's fine. But I just feel like you got to give it the 10. I'm sorry, you got to.
Nice. Okay, so I'm hesitant to give out 10s. I try not to give out too many 10s. But
okay, easy, CGC, easy. No, I'm just kidding.
but this series is, in my opinion, a lot better than the movie. Like I said, I enjoy the movie. It's good. It's just not my favorite Batman. But man, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, he's just freaking amazing. The way he transforms into him. We've got a new interpretation of the Penguin, who I feel still reflects and builds up the original character of the Penguin. In my opinion, I don't think he does any damage to the legacy of the Penguin. I think that's a good way to put it. Because sometimes these things, they ruin the legacy. And I don't think this does it at all. I think this brings a new interpretation, and I like the way they did it. I love that they went the mobster route. I think it's perfect for the Penguin. So in that sense, with all that taken in, I will give it 9 out of 10 penguins. Now, Steven's not with us, and we talked briefly about it the other day.
Did he give you a proxy vote? Is that where we're going here?
Well, he didn't give me a proxy vote. He kind of gave me some hints to how he felt about it. We try not to talk too much about the series before the show. We as we say, we save it for the podcast. But sometimes, every once in a while, there's something that'll come up that we just gotta talk a little bit about. And he had called me for something the other day, and he brought it up. He's like, "Oh man," he was really looking forward to doing this episode, and he was looking forward to meeting you. but like I said, he had something unexpected come up and he couldn't make it. But what he was telling me was he did do Steven skips. I don't know if you know what that is, but so Steven has a tendency, like he says a lot, he has time issues. and if things feel to him that they're moving slowly, he'll do the 10-second skip button, And,
yeah.
right. So we call that a Steven skip.
Oh no.
And oh yeah, he was like, look, I timed him. It took him 2 minutes to walk up the stairs with the body. That was just too long. No, I Steven skipped that crap. So I was like, okay, this is the typical Steven review here. But he didn't totally get into it, but from what I took from him, he actually really liked this series. Not saying that there wasn't any Steven skips, there were, but it sounds like overall he really enjoyed the series, which I thought that he wasn't going to, because when he told me he started watching it, he was having a hard time because he said it moved too slow for him. I didn't have that problem with it. I was hooked from episode 1, and I was just like, oh, gotta watch the next episode. Loved it. Just absolutely loved it. But so I don't know what Steven would rate it, but I think Steven overall enjoyed it. I know he's not going to give it as high a rating as either one of us did, but I think his rating will probably be above a 6. That's just my guess.
See, that's what happens when you skip.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you. I don't want to hate on Steven. I haven't met him yet. I've watched shows or stuff where I'll skip a little thing or a new movie or something, but then I go back and watch it a second time and realize just those tiny little sections that I skipped. There's something small that happens or something that's said that's all of a sudden like, oh, that makes more sense now, or oh, I didn't catch that. It's like that's why you don't skip.
Right. Well, when you finally get to meet Steven, you can tell him that. And he's going to say, yeah, I'm still going to skip.
I get it. Like I said, I still do it, but I usually go back later, and sometimes you do miss tiny little like those connecting dot moments, if you will, or those aha moments, you might miss, and it's amazing what you can miss in 10 or 20 seconds of skipping through a TV show or a movie. So, but
now, something I wanted to ask you, since you said you're not as up on the Batman lore, but you do know the Penguin character, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And obviously you know of Batman Returns with Danny DeVito's version of the Penguin. And Steven and I have talked in the past a little bit about the Danny DeVito Penguin. He's not a big fan of that version of the Penguin. I enjoy that version. I liked him just because he was different. I thought he was kind of cool. He's a little gross, but I think he's a fun version of the Penguin in a way. I do like that version. But I got to say, I think Colin Farrell's performance, granted, it's a total different style. But I think his performance is, I'm going to say our signature line is much more better than Danny DeVito's. So cheers. So what do you think comparing Colin Farrell to Danny DeVito?
Whew. Yeah, it's probably that's probably in this instance the question of the century, right? I feel like it's tough to compare the two because, like I was saying before, they're kind of because the Penguin is based off of the Batman movie, right, or is taken from it. So like I said, it's a original story based off an original story, which not just the original story of the Batman, but of Batman in general. So I find it difficult to compare the two because it's like even though it's still Batman, they're almost like two different Batman universes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So and
DC's actually made it two different Batman universes because Michael Keaton's, they've dubbed that the 89 verse.
Yeah.
So, so that actually does have its own universe. So you are correct in that.
So like in terms of that makes it hard to do for me, man, because it's like it's too it's kind of like what we were talking about with the comparison from Jack Nicholson to Heath Ledger as the Joker. It's like Jack was a gangster who was a sociopath, and then Heath Ledger was just an all-out psychopath, but who was very smart and clever and conniving and scheming. With comparison to the two, like what was the original question? You asked me how I would compare the two of them.
How would you compare Danny DeVito to Colin Farrell?
I wouldn't say Colin was better or Danny was better. I would say that they were both the best Penguin for their universe.
I like that. I like that.
You know what I mean? Because it's like Danny's was more, and I don't know, like from the original comics, was the character the Penguin, was he just a disfigured criminal, or was he an actual like disfigured person, or was he actually partially a penguin? Or
no, he was just a normal person who was pretty much a gangster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in that regard, then, if we want to talk about a comparison, knowing that, I would say I would have to give the crown to Colin, because in that instance, and that knowing that, I would have to give the crown to Colin. However, in terms of them being separate universes, I think they both are the best at it. Now knowing though that he actually was a gangster, just an awkward looking gangster, right? They kind of like I mentioned Creature before, where Danny DeVito was, he had like literally the penguin
the flippers
and the awkward shaped body, and that obnoxiously long nose, and eating dead fish, and it's like no, it was great. I loved it. I think Batman Returns is awesome. So in their own separate universes, I think they both did it. They both crush it. They're both the best at it. But in terms of, with what you said, in terms of the original Batman character, the Penguin just being a penguin-looking gangster, then Colin Farrell takes the crown.
Nice. I think I would agree with that assessment too. And as far as Danny DeVito's version of the Penguin, which is really Tim Burton's version, because that's his creation, Tim Burton alone.
I didn't think to take that into consideration. That's a good
right. Tim Burton just he wants to throw in weird things and give it a twist. Is what that's all he did. He's like, this is the way I envision the Penguin, and I'm going to make him into a monster because I'm Tim Burton and I do weird things. So that's the whole reason we got that. But if you read the comic books, the Penguin isn't like that. Now the cartoon series, they did slightly change the Penguin after Batman Returns, because the cartoon series premiered after the 89 Batman, about 2 years after that. And then, Batman Returns came out in 92. So after Batman Returns, they did give the Penguin kind of flipper hands. Of course, he had gloves on, so you didn't really see them. And just to make him reflect a little bit closer to what was in the film, But that's probably the closest they've ever come in animation to making him to that Tim Burton version.
And then wasn't he just chunky, had a pointed nose, and like what do you call it? The monocle?
Oh, the monocle. Yeah. The Monopoly Man monocle.
Yeah. But you know what? There was that one scene in the Penguin series where with Colin Farrell, where I forgot which episode it was, where he was wearing that obnoxious like tux with the gold vest, and then he had the top hat, and I was like, holy crap, I feel like I'm watching the cartoon. Like, like I
think that was a nod to both the cartoon and to the original 66 Batman series.
Yeah,
and for that matter, the comic books too.
In that moment, I was like, okay, I'm like, this right here is full on Penguin right here. You know what I mean? And what I did like too is there was a couple things, including with what I just mentioned. There was a couple things that I noticed in there that were kind of like homages kind of to the original, with the whole the old abandoned underground trolley tunnels. The Penguin, being from the sewers and disgusting and a creature and a monster, and then that's where he makes his drug empire, is where him and his brothers used to hang out in the sewer. I thought that was kind of, he's like, this is going to be our base of operations or whatever he said. I was like, okay. I was like, this is perfect. I'm like, it's the Penguin. He's underground now. I was feeling Danny DeVito-ish at that point. I'm like, okay. I'm like, we're going underground. We're going in the wet, damp sewers, or well, not sewers, or the old trolley station, whatever. But they chose it because it was moist for the environment to make that drug and everything.
Right.
And I was like, I feel like this is a little homage. The Penguin's back underground. I'm like, okay. I was like, and there was a couple other things I noticed that were homages too that I should have wrote them down, but I had in my mind that I was going to mention. But yeah, that outfit that he had, and then the trolley station underground. I feel like they were just clear nods to the previous Penguin characters.
See, when they went underground, I got Breaking Bad flashbacks. I do love the Breaking Bad series too. That's an incredible series.
I'm not gonna lie, with that drug, when they were kind of, because it was kind of glassy, right? I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, oh man, this is some Walter White stuff.
I even said when it happened, I went, say my name.
You know what really would have did it? Because the character, Jesse Pinkman, right, from Breaking Bad. It would have been great. Excuse me. They couldn't have got away with it, but it would have been great if they had, like, there was that one scene where the guy was smashing the table and breaking up that bliss, I think it's called, the drug.
Right.
It would have been great if they had Victor come out of nowhere and be like, science, bitch! Just like Jesse Pinkman. That's what I was thinking in that moment. I'm like, where's Jesse Pinkman? I'm like, he's got to pop out. Where is he?
Yeah, I don't think Victor's quite Jesse.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but Victor was a great character. I love Victor. Yeah. Something else I was thinking about now. So we were talking about different performances of the Penguin. I have to throw this out there because I think this actor, oh my gosh, I got to find his name real quick. Let me look it up.
Did Burgess Meredith play the original Penguin?
Yes, Burgess Meredith played the original. And yes, definitely got to give kudos to Burgess Meredith because I think he was a fantastic Penguin. But somebody else who was a great Penguin, Robin Lloyd Taylor, who played Oswald Cobblepot in the Gotham series. Now, he didn't look the Penguin as far as being heavy set and but he had the walk because he had the hobble like the Penguin. And man, that guy was awesome. I absolutely loved his portrayal of the Penguin too. So I won't.
Mike,
miss show.
I'm losing you, Mike. You're breaking up.
Oh, did I freeze up?
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's weird because I'm not. It doesn't look like. So, hey, Megan, am I still frozen? All right, I'm gonna try coming out and coming in. You saw Gotham. Talk a little bit about that Penguin while I go out and come back in and see if it fixes things.
I actually haven't seen Gotham, to be honest with you. Megan, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Yeah, I can't hear you. Uh-oh, I think you're frozen now too. Am I frozen? Oh, I think I hear some.
Having technical difficulties. Please.
Your screen. Well, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Megan. I can hear Mike too.
I've lost. Hey, if you microphone and go when you.
What?
If you have to go off.
I unmuted, so I figured that out. So he has to refresh everything because everything just disappeared. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my gosh, I can't get back in.
I can't do anything. He's trying to come back in.
This is what
you said you didn't watch Gotham.
No, but this is what happens when you use CBS as your broadcaster. No, I'm just kidding. I was just trying to make a joke. No, I didn't.
Gotham was pretty good. I love their Penguin. I don't know who played him.
Megan, now your voice is cutting in and out, like with gaps.
Okay, you can.
Yeah,
All right. Well, we got her microphone actually running through the soundboard, which is.
Mike, you're breaking up again now, and you're frozen again.
Can't hear me.
I can hear you.
You're completely out of the. Yeah. Oh, he said he can hear you. Or do you hear me?
I think I'm hearing him through your
me or him.
I can hear both of you, but I think I'm hearing him through your microphone, Megan.
Probably. Gotcha. He's hearing through my.
It's slowly coming.
And I tried. IMDb won't know me.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to abruptly end this. I hate to do this, but.
Would you have to restart and do a part 2? Is that you think maybe that might refresh the system or?
First of all, thank Jacob for joining us and apologize for what.
I don't know if you can hear him.
Yeah, I heard.
He said, "Thank you for." Oh my god, I can't even talk. Okay, good.
Did you guys? I don't know how this works. Do you guys want to just try to restart the entire show? I don't know if that's a thing or.
Oh no! We're not gonna restart.
We're not gonna restart.
We're already an hour through, so it's getting a repeat.
Oh, that's because I have. That's because I have. Oh,
yeah, I'm back on. Oh, now Megan just
connection.
Okay. All right, we're just gonna have to end this today. I am really sorry about all this craziness, Jacob.
Now you're.
Let's just give a wrap up of the Penguin.
Oh, never mind. You were coming in perfectly, and then all of a sudden it messed up again. So never mind.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up because I don't know how much longer we can do this. All right. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate this, and I hope that next time we can have Steven on so he can meet you. Is there any last things that you want to say and let the audience know or anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I think it would be cool if we. I'm requesting a part 2, but not fully about the Penguin, I say we do, if you're up to it, do like a part 2, finish the segment of the Penguin, and then jump into something else for the rest of it. And then again, I just wanted to mention, I don't know where everybody lives who watches this, but if you want to make the journey, or if you're close, I have my first comic book signing for my comic book Cosa, Nostra's Comrade on May 3rd, free comic book day at Kingpin Comics and Gaming on Delaware Avenue in Kenmore, New York. Technically
This
Buffalo,
is
New York.
so annoying.
And then...
Sorry about that. We lost connection again.
Oh, I was even gone too?
Yeah. We just completely lost connection.
Did you hear what I
All right, well, I think we're going to have to wrap this up. I got parts of it, but you sounded like you were underwater.
Do you want to...
I apologize. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Make sure...
Do you want to...
Do you have a website?
Do you... No, for the comic? Mike,
I missed half of what you just said.
Do you want to call me on Facebook after this real quick? Do you want to call me on Facebook real quick?
We could try that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, we can try that. Let me close out this episode and then... All right. Thank you, Jacob. I really appreciate you joining us. So remember to check us out on all our socials. Give us a like and subscribe. You know all the things. So with that said, over and out. And please do not Steven skip this episode, because we are much more better than the rest. Of course, not today. All right. With that said, see you next week. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
May the force be